Welcome to the Roy Anthony and
Every
Friends
Tuesday
show.
and every Thursday. Y'all tap in.
Is this thing on? Can you hear me?
Roy
Is
Anthony
anybody out
show
there?
is the spot to be, baby.
Hey, tune in. It's the hottest show, homie, on the West Coast. The Roy Anthony Show. It's the hottest show, homie, on the West Coast. The Roy Anthony Show. It's the hottest show, homie, on the West Coast. The Roy Anthony Show. And it's featuring the homie Big Hank.
And Cynthia.
It's the hottest show, homie, on the West Coast. The Roy Anthony Show. It's the hottest show, homie, on the West Coast. The Roy Anthony Show. It's the hottest show, homie, on the West Coast. The Roy Anthony Show. And it's featuring the co-host Big Hank.
And Cynthia.
It's the hottest show, homie, on the West Coast. Everybody tune in, you dig it? It's funny as hell, my dude. It's when we can kick
Every Tuesday.
Everything is going
Every
down.
Thursday.
They about to do the most. It ain't a confrontation, it's a conversation, homie. Yo, on the weekends, the Roy Anthony
Every
Show. It's
Tuesday.
during the week, homie. The Roy
Every
Anthony
Thursday.
Show. What you listening to? The Roy Anthony Show. Come on and get a
Tap
call
in.
before we gotta
Tap
go.
in.
What you listening to? The Roy Anthony
Every
Show. Come on
Tuesday.
and kick it with us. The Roy Anthony
Every
Show.
Thursday.
It's going down, homeboy. The Roy Anthony Show. Co-host
Tap in.
Big Hank. We getting it. What you think? It's the hottest show, homie, on the West Coast. The Roy Anthony Show. It's the hottest show, homie, on the West Coast. The Roy Anthony Show. It's the hottest show, homie, on the West Coast. The Roy Anthony Show. And it's featuring the homie Big Hank.
Never seen a horse before in my life. From the ghetto. And then she arranged for us to go horseback riding. But I committed, fellas, you know how we commit, like playing basketball, you going for a layup, you know your shot's about to get blocked, but you committed. I knew it was messed up because we was headed out to the Foothill Ranch, and she stopped at Jack in the Box to get a breakfast burrito. Well, eggs and tomato paste don't go well with me. She's like, how you like your burrito? I said, oh, it's good. So we get out of here to the Foothill Ranches. They bring out her horse. He was all elegant and nice. They bring my horse out. He was like Donkey from Shrek. I was like, yeah, cool. You know what I'm saying? But she was like, I know you're not going to ride that, Roy. Nah, take this back. Bring me back a horse. They must have gave him a potion because they brought him out of thoroughbreds, you know. He was flexing his muscles and he was intimidating me. And I've dealt with ferocious animals, don't get me wrong. I've dealt with pit bulls and rottweilers. I tell them to sit, they sit. But this horse was scaring me, boy. I was more nervous than a gay man in church. Because you don't look at a horse in both his eyes. You look at that horse from that one side and it's just that cyclops of feeling, you know. I see my whole body in that one eye. So my day jumps on her horse all nicely. It took me 15 minutes to get up on my horse. Because I had my foot on the stirrup, but he kept backing up like he was laughing at me with that eye. So the cowhand secretly put me on. I was like, all right. So we went moseling on, you know. Moseling is a cowboy term. That means going on about your business. So I'm moseling on, you know. I start wondering is how do cowboys ride horses across the United States? Because I hadn't gone 200 yards before my ass got sores on the rear. I mean, my rear was raw. So I started leaning over my horse like I was riding sea biscuits. You know? It's a beautiful day. But I shouldn't have did that. Because the saddle has this thing that sticks up in the front. It was pressed up against my stomach. And with that jogging along and that Jack in the Box, I felt like I had to pass gas. But I sparted. You ever spart? That's just embarrassing stuff right there, man. Because that's when you think you letting out some air, but you feel some liquefizations. Your grippers will act like emergency brakes, woman. My grippers were like, you be insecure the rest of the day, don't you? Because you be checking it. You be letting it out a little bit at a time. Because if you feel any wetness, you be like, oh, I'm sick. I ain't feeling good. I must got a fever. I shouldn't be doing this. This ain't normal. All of a sudden, my date and the horse took off running real fast. My horse took suit. I was like, wait a minute, I didn't say giddy up or none of that. So my grippers was already on overload. And with all this going real fast, I'm screaming, hold up! So she started saying, what's wrong? I said, I gotta use it. Now believe me, I'm not gonna tell her what I gotta do. It was a good thing I had a couple of them Jack in the Box napkins in my pocket. So I'm gonna get off my horse the same way I got on. So I'm swinging my leg around, and the horse must have turned around and smelled some spark. Man, that joker went crazy. He prayed up, took off running. I'm like, hold! And I lost a hold of the rein, and he dragged me like 200 yards over rocks and sticks, like a cowboy movie. My foot finally came out. I was just laying there, and my date run over. She said, Roy, are you all right? That's when I got truthful with her. I was like, hell no, I'm not all right. I done snatched a hole in my afro. My back is cut up. I got diarrhea all on me. And I don't ride horses. If it takes a ride a horse.
What it do? What it do? What it do? I'm Roy Anthony. Welcome to the Roy Anthony Show podcast with my co-stars, Miss Cynthia Joy Towner and my man Big Hank Norman. They be popping in shortly. They know I always hit up with the intros. The Roy Anthony Show, which is a conversation piece. We pride ourselves on that. It's not a confrontation. It's a conversation. We strike up all types of conversations and representing the WO Entertainment platform, which was created by the veterans to bring awareness how active and non-active veterans commit suicide on a daily rate. And so the WO, which is the head producer, Richie King, aka Redneck Pimp, along with the co-creator Goose, our social producers, Blue Phoenix, Ethan Daly, and then we have our good neighbors, the BB Nation, that's the Backwood veterans based out of Oregon. Then we have the Long Beach All-Stars, which is Long Beach, Linwood, Compton, and Watts, veterans and non-veterans working together for entertainment, achievement, and better good in the neighborhoods. And then the WO Entertainment family itself around the nation and our own personal family, friends, associates, and those who don't like us. We want to say welcome to the show. We pride ourselves, like I said, on a conversation piece. And I seen my man Jeremy is in. Jeremy, what's up with you, Jeremy? He said he's present. Always glad to see him. I see he changed up his his well, he got a squirrel and stuff with the military get downs. And I just want to, and I want to take this time to say to our veterans, not active and non-active veterans, I really, really appreciate y'all. Anybody who knows me, I've done a lot of shows for the veterans. I appreciate them highly and stuff, for real. Just because I don't agree with the government, I appreciate these veterans because they go out there and put their lives on the line so I can have the freedom that I do as I speak, doing a stand-up comedy show, and I can't think of enough. I think that we should be where um hey Starlet, she's in the house. She's a high, handsome man and beautiful people. Hey Starlet, morning. This is May the 7th, 2024. And like I was saying, man, I really, really do from my heart, and everybody knows, all veterans who knows me personally and those who have seen me, I really give a shout out to the veterans. Anybody who will put their lives on the line for the, especially representing our democracy and protection. A lot of people don't even understand, from rappers, philosophers, anybody. If you from America, you have the freedom. That's why so many people around the world wants to come to America, if not to live here, but to visit, because it's a unique area. It's a unique country because of the fact of that we have freedom of speech. We have a freedom to be able to group up. Sometimes it seems like these powers to be wants to reign on our freedom, and we won't allow that. You know, American people. I be hearing some of these politicians say we're real patriots, because why? You know, I don't like it when politics, especially in American people, you look down at what's a real American and all that, because we don't agree with your views. See, this isn't a dictatorship. It's free reign of democracy is where we can be free thinkers. You know, if I agree with something you say, cool. If I don't, it should still be cool. It doesn't mean that I'm un-American because I don't believe in your views and stuff. And a lot of times I believe, like the word of God say, find every man a lie and God the truth. If that person ain't speaking within in a in a way of godly, then I look at it as that's just him. Especially when people are like, well, my theory, I used to be at this job and we have cubicles. You know, I'm doing my drafting work. At this time I was a drafter. I'm a civil designer now, but I was a drafter. And there was this one guy, man, he every day I would get tired of him. You know, he wears glasses, and some of the guys around him, and he in his political views and be like, yeah, my theory is, you know, so and my theory is. And um I started, you know, that's when I'll never get, I start always like, if there's a word I see someone uses a lot, I look up the definitions. um I I pick into, you know, what they say. I actually analyze what people say and the words that they use, and then if there's a word that I'm uncommon with, I'm gonna look that word up. Well, a theory is an unproven fact. And when I found out that word theory was an unproven fact, it amazed me that we would teach our kids unproven facts, like in the schools, the public school systems. They want to teach you an unproven fact, like the Big Bang Theory by Charles Darwin's theory. You know, that is an unproven fact. And what gets me is that this man's um, life was based off of, he was an LSD user, and LSD causes hallucinations. And so I guess that his being you know, I picture him like, yes, my theory. Now he all high off of substance and come up with this ideology that doesn't back up, you know, that, you know, our country say in God we trust, and you have to wonder, what God are you talking about? You know, we want to assume that some people are talking about God the Spirit who gave us salvation through his son. But when you have a country that is like this, and we're teaching our kids a theory and stuff, you know, why not teach them that God created the heaven and earth? The Bible goes way beyond Charles Darwin. The basic instruction for leaving earth, the Quran as well. These books go way beyond. Um, and they based off of truth. Now, some people say, "Oh, well, King James wrote." King James didn't write nothing, just like a president. The president has a whole bunch of people do the writing for it. He looks over, they tell him, "Hey, man, this is a good thing to sign." Okay, he signs it. King James did the same thing. You had people who interpreted the Holy Scrolls. After the Holy War, they got away with some scrolls, and others had other parts of the Bible. I seen a guy who came from Jerusalem who had a booklet of the missing books of the Holy Bible, and basically they're all saying the same thing: "Thou shalt not kill, thou shalt not covet, thou." And so it sums it up to me by the grace of by grace, which is me. This my belief and stuff, that salvation through the ultimate sacrifice through God's Son. Now that's my belief. Now, am I religious? No, I don't. I'm not a person who goes to the churches and run to the churches. I run straight to God, who's closer to me than my own mouth. That's being real. There's been situations in my life that only thing I could do was go to God. For real, the spiritual God, God who created the heavens and the earth, the God who created man and all the animals and the sun and the moon. That's what I believe. Now, to me, I think that's more credible than than trying to teach kids that men came out of fish. I'm like, why the fish ain't coming out the water still? What stopped them? I guess that turn of the century, the fish said, "You know what? I had enough of this. I'm about to go up here on the shore and stuff, because it probably be about 20,000 years again before we think about doing this again." Especially with people like Roy, who loves fried fish. You know what I'm saying? I'm waiting for you to crawl out the water to save me for waiting for my bobbin to go down. Come on out the water and stuff. And then we evolved into, it went from a fish to a monkey till the monkey stood up. I ain't seen a monkey yet try to stand up. I still see them stand up when they walking, but I ain't seen them trying to, stroll it and stuff. You don't see no monkeys walking into you don't see monkeys walking into the into your Waffle House.
Anybody want to go sailing with me? I said, anybody
Those
wanna
aren't
go sailing
monkeys,
with
man.
me?
Those aren't gorillas. Those are black human beings. I want to see a monkey come do this. Yeah, that.
I'm out on the ocean.
I don't see no, for real. But we'll teach our kids these lies. And Starter said, "You got jokes." Because the thing is that this week show is about let your light shine. My light is to make people laugh. Now, somebody to think that my life is just easy, it's not. I go through situations even as we speak, trying to, take care of my family. That's me, my kids, and my mother, and my auntie. And then some of the shows I put together. A lot of people don't know is that for these past 3 or 4 weeks, we have been really, really working on a major project that I'm gonna announce here soon. Not today, but I'm gonna announce soon, because I like to talk about stuff that has been done. It's completed. We had to do a submission, and then it goes from there. But this is how I let my light shine. As you notice, I played a comedy joke. I like watching that. So I was at the Queen Mary. That's in 2009. That particular um, um, concert or performance, like 500 some people there. And I wasn't prepared, as you can tell, as the people looking see, thinking like, is that a ponytail? No, I had a wave rack. I didn't even know I was going to be there. I had came in with a t-shirt, and when I perform and I have tattoos, I really don't like to show off the tattoos. Not saying they derogatory, It's just that it's not for some people to see. So I had on a t-shirt and the promoter said, here, gave me a tweed jacket, and I did the show. And that's how I let my light shine. Sometimes when you show in darkness, it makes somebody wonder, where's your light? We always trying to expose things that is in the dark, like what former President Donald Trump is going through. I, for the life of me, you got two different people who's going with, but this what gets me. I've seen people with one felony in their life, something stupid and stuff. And cats always want to still look down at them like they criminal to this moment. It could be 30, 40 years ago. They had a case, misfortune, young, was whatever, and people will still hold that against them. But it's amazing me how, you can't even get a job if you had a felony or something within 7 years or some years. And then in some cases, people don't understand. They'll hire you, but you ain't gonna get no supervisory role sometimes because they will look at your background for that. And if you have a felony or we can't promote you, that's the reason. But for the life of me, I can't understand. Former President Donald Trump got all these felonies facing. Yeah, he seems like one of the main candidates for presidency of the United States. For real. I found something else out that you can be a felon and still run for a mayor or governor or presidential. You just can't vote. I did not know that. I thought that you couldn't do run. You can run if the people makes their choice. That's what it is. You can be a felon and still be voted in. You just can't vote for yourself. It's amazing, man. And that's because when the powers to be keeps pushing the finishing line farther and farther, or they move it to where they're in ahead, so they move it to where it's close to them so they can pass the finishing line. So then when you get to learning their ways, now all of a sudden it's another finishing line. It's another finishing line. I used to think that the Supreme Court was nobody that you question. When it go to the Supreme Court, yeah, you know what I'm saying? That's the ultimate court. But now the Supreme Court is iffy. There was something with the one judge and his wife, siding on doing stuff, and I can't understand why you want to cheat? Why you want to cheat with electorals? Why you want to sabotage stuff? That's not the freedom of democracy. You're cheating when let the people tell it for what the votes is. Stop trying to throw stuff and make it. We ain't stupid. And the ones who sits up here and keep this stuff going on, some of these older cats trying to keep, this man. I remember former President Donald Trump told men to grab women in the crouch. Just grab. And that's nothing that I teach my kids. I teach my son, you be respectful, and stuff. So, we have we have to look at our moral standards. We want to be able to treat women all types of ways, but you don't want your daughter to be treated like that. We want to pride our a guy who would tell you grab women, and I'm not condoning. I'm not against him because I'm not into propaganda of like President Biden. They sent me pictures of him sniffing little kids' hair, and to me, that's an old grandpa father type way, you know what I'm saying? And stuff, he like, this smell, but it doesn't mean that he's a pedophile or something like that. The ones who are pedophiles is people who seem all innocent, for real. I couldn't see President Joe Biden, and that gets me when we always trying to critique someone in our own country. We should be uplifting. I am not disrespectful to the president. I don't agree on some of his agendas and stuff. That's falls up under the reason that you can please some of the people some of the time, but you can't please all the people all the time. And then the ones who's out there crying, like the ones who ran up on the Capitol and stuff, what you thought that the rest of us was going to do? You thought that y'all would be able to control us? Is that what you thought? You would get over there and take over the Capitol, and then you would be like, bow down to us? We're part of a regime. Now you got problems now, bro. For real. You think we going back? You think I'm going backwards? You think the group of people I know we going backwards? Because a lot of y'all had old guillotines and slave nooses out there, nooses like what they did for hanging people and all that stuff. What type of barbaric situation is that? That's embarrassing. For real, you was a straight embarrassment. Black folks, we sat back and watched that stuff. I never get eating popcorn like, wow. And then I started thinking, what do they think the end results if they was to took over the Capitol? They don't understand. You was about to have some problems. There was about to be some problems because I didn't like what it was signifying. Some of that stuff signified slavery and like put blacks back into place, and they wanted, go back to like in the 50s and stuff. How was blacks? Jim Crow laws were still running. Jim Crow laws did not become illegal until the early 70s. You thought I was going to go back where I got to walk on the side of a sidewalk like my grandparents had to do? Yeah, people lost their lives. Bad day. I mean, for real, what do you think was going to happen to me? And then, well, they're just good. Okay. It's not like you're going to live forever in this human flesh. I'll see you again. It'd be in the spiritual life. Because I'm not fearful of this body. What I'm talking to you about is coming from my soul and stuff which they cannot get away. The story of Roy will be there, but the flesh, the body may not be there. And that I'm not fearful of. Because if God is for you, who can be against you? When I seen people sitting up here when the little girl Ruby Bridges, and they were trying to segregate the schools, and the mothers, the white mothers, is yelling F-lets at her. You black envy, you little, for real. Now they're grandparents, and they was trying to, they don't want the picture to be shown of them yelling at this little girl because some of their granddaughters are in relationships with black guys, and they've had babies. Remember the Bruce Lee movie? His wife's mother was not for her having a Asian guy as her husband, but when she seen the baby, she had to recognize that this is my grandbaby. You love babies. It's not a baby that I don't like, and it's not a race. Man, I can hold little babies for real. I don't care if they're white babies, black babies, because I like little babies, especially when they like 9, 10 months old and stuff. And they be like, hey, and then they get respectful. Like if they don't want to go to you, they be like, they turn away. Nuh-uh. But if they want to go to you, they stick their hands out to you, don't they? For real. They don't know, just straight innocence. But you grown people with this bad seed thinking. See, these women who yelled at Ruby Bridges when she was a baby girl now don't want that picture to be shown because it shows their hateful side. Did you go to Ruby Bridges and ask for forgiveness, or are you worried about how you're looking now since you're the deaconess or at the church, or you're the old mother or something at the church, and you're just full of cotton candy and joy now, huh? But when you was in your 20s and 30s, you was this and that. And that's a question for real that I ask, because as a black American, because I seen 2 or 3 blacks up in there, and first thing I thought, you were definitely going to jail. There was a dude who was doing a rap cover. He said he just went in Rotunda and did a rap album, all the chaos going on. Yeah, he was in jail. His album is yet to come out. What are you going to say? I effed up. Then there was a guy who got into the chambers, whatever. This black guy, and he stuck his hands out like, "What do I do now?" You go to jail, and you should go to jail for a lengthy time because you got to be the dumbest person in the world. For one, you don't go with a group of people. How for a black person, I'm not going to hang out with nobody showing a Confederate flag with a noose. That's not going to happen. I'm just going to be real with you. Matter of fact, I'm gonna be fighting the urge of attacking you, but I just said, you know what, peace be still. There's a reason why I'm not in certain situations or some of my partners because they're like-minded as I am. That I'm not. I'm gonna defend myself and I'm gonna defend the honor of God, but I'm gonna try to be peaceful. But I don't take my believing in God for granted. I'm not that tambourine player. I'm not. I'm that soldier in the army of the Lord. It didn't tell me, he said, be rational. That's why you turn the other cheek. Don't take that for granted because all sins will be forgiven except for blaspheming of the Holy Spirit. So you like, well, I thought you were a Christian and I put these hands on you. Oh, God's going to forgive me. He told me to anger, but sin not. But if I end up whooping you up, he will forgive me. So don't get it wrong. Matter of fact, God taught us martial arts. God taught us how to defend ourselves. Don't get it wrong. Don't get it mistaken. But I come to bring, I try to be peaceful. I try to accept each individual as that individual. I don't smile in people's face and then talk behind their backs. I don't try to bring up nothing bad about you because I don't care about, which I can care less if anybody's saying anything bad about me. The thing is, we had to keep it 100. When I say I'm grateful to the veterans, I'm really thankful because they don't have to do it. Used to be where you had no other choice. They called it a draft. Now they don't have that draft. They do have selective service at 18, but these guys go and America should be able to help them have a life. It's a shame when I see veterans coming back here and trying to have a life, and the senators are sitting up there living larger than they are. Something's backwards with that. The military, if you're coming in from the military, you should be able to have a built home by America. We're the richest country in the world. Starter said, right. We're the richest country in the world. But yet, we got a lot of, look, I'm going to tell you something. I used to work in downtown LA. And I would, sometimes it's embarrassing to me when I would see my black begging, for real. And even in Beverly Hills. But I used to work in downtown LA, and every day there'd be someone black. And so I talked to this one guy, there was his brother, who would be begging, and he didn't have no arms. He would keep his cup and hold say, man, give me a little change, man. And so I said, but how are you homeless? He said, man, I was a veteran. I'm a veteran. That's what he said, I'm a veteran. I said, you are? He said, yeah. And he lost his arms. He explained to me now, this tripped me out. And I'm being honest, because I wasn't there. He was in the Vietnam War, and they said that the Viet Cong would have underground bunkers and stuff like that. So he was on what they call like a rat patrol, a mole patrol, where he would have to go down and dig down to infiltrate a tunnel. And he would end up getting his arms blown up, entering the tunnel. They had a booby trap, and America has him. He's homeless on the streets in LA. I said, don't you have a GI Bill? And he was like, they didn't, at this time, blacks wasn't getting a GI Bill. And I'm like, well, how in the world, if you came back here with your arms blown off, and they was like, yeah, thank you for your service. Here we give you some medical needs, but no housing. No, I'm like, wow. And we who are actors and rappers and comedians and stuff like that, I see some of the veterans who does stand-up comedy, like Richie. I've seen that the comedian Earthquake, military guys, but some of these guys who ain't served in the military and stuff, and you want to flash money and I'm making it rain and stuff, man. We need to all come together and don't have to wait for a calendar. I can't stand calendar holidays. I can't stand like, oh, Mother's Day. Mother's Day is every day. If I'm getting along with my mother, but Mother's Day is every day. Why do I have to wait for a calendar to tell me to honor my mother when the Word of God tells us to honor our parents so your days can be long upon the earth? I'm gonna honor my mother come May. Then I saw her. Well, what happens if you in August or September or something you don't honor you and something happened to you? We should honor each. That's how I look at it. I don't want to wait for Veterans Day to honor the veterans. You see a veteran, be like, hey, thank you. That's why every time I see a veteran, I tell them, I say, thank you, man. I really do. I've got pictures of so many different veterans I've met to see somebody on the street and they say, I'll be always saying, hey, man, thank you. I remember one of the homies said, what you thinking, homie? Man, he's a veteran, man. You don't have this freedom. For real, and thankful that they able to come back. Now I don't go into how many. I think that's ignorant stuff when I hear people ask a veteran, how many people did you have to kill? I think they're trying to forget that because a lot of them suffer from the nightmares that they had to deal with every single second of the day. You can just imagine. I've been in the hoods. I've been in trap houses where it ain't no pausing. There ain't no time to rest. It ain't this. Every single second of the day. And so I'm grateful. That's why I'm letting my light shine. You know what I'm saying? I've been letting my light shine. Even though when it's going bad, and I tell everybody, the Lord is my light. Whom shall I fear? The name of my show this week is Let Your Light Shine. See, the Lord is my light. Whom shall I fear? He is my salvation. Who shall I be afraid? When my enemies and my foes get along with those who despise me and look at this podcast and can't stand my guts, they gather up to come to eat of my flesh, and they stumble and they fall. And the thing is, starting to say, yeah, shout out to the veterans. God bless you. That part. If nobody don't say it, they can play this video over and over. I am grateful to you. I'm not in the honor. I can't stand with someone who ain't been in the service saluting somebody. They salute and I'd be like, thank you. You know what I'm saying? Who am I to salute somebody? I'm taking them and I'm having the freedom of even having this. If I was in some countries, they'd be trying to knock down the door. I'd be sitting in somebody's jail. Because they try to make the distance, hoping that people forget me, for real, But yeah, back though to them people down at the insurrections, they call them insurrectionists, and I call them terrorist group because you tried to take over the United States. And I want to know is, what did you think that we was going to do? You was about to have some problems. If you thought that I was going back to the ways of Jim Crow laws, I'm just being honest, because you didn't say what your agenda was. What I seen from your co-conspirators was nooses and Confederate flags. That's what I seen. And to blacks, that is not doesn't bring up good memories. And if you look up the history of it, and so if you think that I was going to walk down one side of a sidewalk, or don't come in your restaurant, or you can just say anything to me and stuff, because I was taught look people in the eye. I'm not gonna bow down. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. You got to be out your mind. It's the 21st century. For real. I am a true American. I'm identified as a black American, but I'm American. And I believe in God, and I believe in salvation. I believe in life after death, which is I die from this body, but I'm alive the way God has it fit in the new body, how it works. I don't go into all the theories of it because I ain't been there. I just know that they tell me the basic instructions before leaving Earth. And trust me, I wasn't like-minded. It wasn't nobody convinced me. I had to go through this on my own. And I found out of all the religions, all the practicing and stuff, that there's only one God. You can practice Buddhism, you can practice Hinduism, you can practice all these different religions. I tell you one thing though, I've seen um Shaolin monks and all them chant bang 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 bang, and nothing happened. They do that stuff for an hour. But when you sit down and you concentrate on God and his heavenly fathers, I mean Jesus and his heavenly father and stuff, in about 5 or 10 minutes, something starts hitting at you. It deals with your emotions, and that means it comes through your soul. It's a soul stirring situation. But everybody who says I got God or you preaching isn't. The word tells you many are godly, but have no power. You see, the spirit ain't in them. They godly, but they have no power. Therefore, men run away. I have people come to me up all the time because, for one, I'm not here to judge you. I'm just here to let my light shine. What man lights a light and put it under a table? It's not, you don't need a light if you're trying to cover it up. We put a light on so we can see. The thief wants to be in the dark because he don't want to be seen. The enemy wants to stay in the dark because he doesn't want to be observed. You feel what I'm saying? I'm gonna let my light shine. I was being teased the other day because people see this globe and it's like he ain't been nowhere but through the Midwest. I did go to Mexico, but I'm on the World Wide Web. They had a young guy named Eddie who's been hitting us up from Libya. Got different ones, and just being honest. Too many times we lay up on the fake stuff. You can quote scriptures all the time and don't have a meaning of it. The world is falling apart, it's going crazy. Doesn't mean that you as an individual, that's like it goes for me as an individual. That's why I'm letting my light shine. I'm not trying to do nothing in the dark except sleep or watch some movie. Other than that, I'm stumbling and falling and hitting stuff if I don't have a light. Sometimes I've been in the dark where it's dark and everybody's sleeping, my kids, and I would use my cell phone, not the light beam on it, but just the glare of it, so I could know where I'm walking to. When my daughter was a baby girl, oh man, and we get her, myself, her family, on my mom's side, my side, buy her them dolls, and this dog, mama, and this dog. And I'm gonna tell you something. There's some creepy stuff. You be getting up to go to the bathroom, and you just know where the bathroom is. You walk, and all of a sudden I step on something. Mama, I was like, oh snap! I stepped on my baby. Oh, it's a baby doll and stuff. But I implore you, be grateful. Some of these people, them insurrectionists or terrorists, what they want to say and stuff, you, I want to know what you thought. The same people who lived in the 70s, who came up with these laws. Get off the sidewalk. Go to the back. What for real? But when you go to other people's countries, you want to be, oh, it don't mean nothing about it. If you're an American, you can try to get that. Well, I'm an American, okay? There was this guy kept telling me he going down there to Tijuana, and I say, hey man, you just be careful because Tijuana is not the United States. That's a country. Their laws ain't the same. Well, he got in and went to a club part and drinking and got into it with some cats, and he could have walked away, but that American machoism came out. Well, he ended up in jail, and he was in there 3 weeks, calling the job and everything. In which I was like, he was real close to the owner of the company I was working at, because I was like, if it had been me, bro, well, sorry, bro, we lost your job. But when he got out, he talked about how he kept asking him where was his phone call, and they kept telling him, "You think you in America?" They was laughing at him. In America, you can get a phone call. In them other countries, don't mean you get that. And some of y'all feel so privileged that you say, "Hey," then you want mercy. You want people to feel sorry for you and stuff in your situation. And you know, and with me, with my heart, I forgive you, and I still try to help you, but I'm not gonna live into your follies. You know, I'm letting my light shine. Are you letting your light shine for real? You know, I was talking to somebody, and I've been digging more about the border, and I'm gonna tell you something. Um, it's very disturbing because the media makes you think that they're fighting to keep people trying to rush in America. That's what they're saying. But if you recall, 2 or 3 years ago, they was for some reason separating children from their parents. Well, for some odd reason, children are still missing. Now, picture yourself with your child, and let's say, for instance, you drop your child off. Um, y'all going to the mall, and they say, "Hey, we having a situation, or we need the little kids over here, and you over here," until the situation, and then okay, so now the situation clears, and you like, okay, where's my child? Oh, give us a minute, let's find. What you mean, give me your minute? I want my child. Oh, what's the child's name? For real, you wrote it down on the paper when you took my. Where's my child? So now they telling you, oh well, can you come back tomorrow? What you mean, come back tomorrow? You better get my child right now, or there's gonna be some problems. And that's what's going on down there. For real. People are gathered up. Where's my children? Because the governor down there deputized some guys without screening them. Then we got the Missouri governor sending down 2,000 troops. I went down there and it was just a mess. And the cat said they're trying. He made it sound like they're fighting to get in this country so they can push meth. No, what is it? What's the new stuff? Fentanyl. He made it sound. Look it up. The governor of Missouri going to make it sound like why he sent 2,000 National Guards and some chip officers is that there's a big mess and commotion of people trying to get down there. Now we got military, real government, but he sends out national troops, all for taxpayers' money from Missouri, who's going to be paying them to deal with people. But they made it sound like they're trying to get in here with fentanyl. These people, majority of them is, where's my kids? Started, yeah, shine on people, shine on. That sounds great, for real. That's just wrong, separating those kids from their mother. Yeah, this should have never happened. And if you look at, see, and this is why I'm talking about humanity. You want to say, oh, well, they foreigners. What does that excuse them from where their kids is at? Some lady is a group of people is facing some major crimes for a mother bear left her two baby bears up in the tree to hide them from, you know, predators and everything. She probably went to go get some food. Some campers or whatever sees the baby bears and is trying to get them and holding them out and everything. And one of them end up falling and they tugging at them and messing with man. Wildlife people are mad because now they have to be able to keep the wildlife people gotta now keep the bears and keep them themselves because the mother ain't gonna accept them because these humans without no respect for somebody else's children, animals, non-animals. That's why I had a problem with, and I misquote the name. I said Travis Kelce, Randy Kelce, whatever his brother's name, holding up the little girl with the bare chest on national TV on a playoff game. It don't look right, bro. For real. For real. When my baby was raising up, my daughter, I would never let her sit on no man's lap. I didn't even take him to see Santa Claus like that. Know who that dude is behind that beard? That ain't his beard. You don't know what type of person that is. You sitting your kids on this laptop about it's Santa Claus. See, it's lies, man. You know, I told my kids, I said, the only Santa Claus you know is gonna be Jesus. That's who is their Santa Claus. I've told my kids, you get everything that you get and it's good is from the Lord. That's me. I wasn't teaching my kids about no Santa Claus. Oh, it's just adorable. Yes, so selfishness, and everything. Because when that kid gets older and you gotta explain that, or he finds out from other kids there ain't no Santa Claus, now they don't know how to trust you. Because you done put up this patty cake junction type of lookout about what the kids should be and all that. I think kids innocent. They love candy. They love watching cartoons and being fun and all that. But I don't teach them lies. I even told them when they had to talk about Darwin's theory, I told them that I said these are the type of lies that you won't have to know. You have to do your test correctly, give them what they want, but just understand that this is a public lie. You don't have to actually believe that we came from fish and that the world was created from a big bang that happened in the space and ain't had another one again. It's some for real. You know, I don't even think we should. I think, like the Constitution say in the third part, if this government fails us, we the people should be able to dispel it and start anew. I think that we should have, instead of just one president, that was something that they felt and stuff. You have a panel of three, which are considered the presidents of the United States. It's too much for one person. For real, it's too much. Just like our governors and stuff. That's the real president of the state you live in. That's the president. You know, he can send National Guards. They can send chip officers to you. Go get Roy and bring him here. I'd be like, I ain't going. You know, are you going? For real. I just say we got to stop being full of lies. The police situation, and it ain't just, and when we say police, I ain't just talking about white police and stuff. Just anybody who think they got a badge, a gun, and you got authority, follow the rules. And so if you're a public figure, you know, I don't know why this particular thing was so ugly to me about here's a black cop and he's being confronted at a gas station by one of them guys who's been dealing with some of the scenarios. So he catches them off guard. And look how this guy acted. See?
What is that? Is that your body cam?
I'll answer questions.
Are you afraid? You think I'm gonna hurt you or something?
Sir, do I have a gun pulled on you? So I'm not afraid of you.
I'm just wondering.
You're no threat to me.
I'm just wondering why you acting
You're no threat to me.
Why you acting so weird, man?
People going around lying, trying to get a name for themselves.
Dude, I already have a name for myself.
No, you're just a liar. And liars go to hell.
Because that's not nice at all.
Well, that's what happens when you lie.
That's not nice. But you know the good thing is video doesn't lie.
Video, you're right, and it's showing just what you're doing.
Video doesn't
It's
lie.
showing just what you're doing. You have nothing to do with me. I don't know you from Timbuktu.
You don't need to. You work for me.
You work for me too.
I don't work.
I work for myself.
You're a sovereign citizen.
No, I pay my own bills and I pay my taxes.
So you're a sovereign citizen. You work for yourself.
Nah, man, go somewhere, man. You're a lousy person, bro.
Because I asked you a question.
You're a lousy person.
Because I asked you a question and tried
You're
to
a
hold
lousy
you.
person.
Because asked you a question and tried to hold you accountable for speeding in our streets. I'm a lousy
Stop
person.
lying. That's
You're
what
a
I'm
lousy
saying.
person.
Stop lying.
Take off my badge.
Stop lying.
Take off my
Stop
badge.
lying.
You're a disgrace, tyrant.
See, there's false in all that. For one, I don't go poking bears, for one. But the way our white Americans, feels that, which they have a point, our taxes pay your salaries and stuff. I don't understand what was so much intense, you know what I'm saying? Then he made a statement that the police officer made a statement. Now I understand, and he confirms it himself. He told already what we have been saying, that the police that shoot people, unarmed people, are scared. For real, you were scared. Uganda, Texas police, when them people shooter was shooting them kids, you were scared. Some of them stop a black man, you scared. That's why you shoot. He just said, I'm not scared of you. He said, you see me with my gun? I'm not scared of you. So that means that your co-workers that do pull out their guns are scared. And you might want to change up your job profession if you're scared and you feel like you got to shoot somebody reaching for a cell phone. Shoot them in the back because they running. John Wayne even said that's a yellow-bellied coward. You shoot a man in the back. For real, a yellow belly is a snake that the bottom of his belly, of his body, doesn't see the sun, so it's just yellow. So they call it a yellow belly. So when John Wayne will call you a yellow belly snake if you shoot a man in the back. But there's numerous of cases. But I'm gonna let my light shine and stuff, for real. Some people doesn't like what I say. We've had trouble, and I think, I want to give a credit out to Richie King, because some of his peers and stuff sometimes don't agree with some of the things I say, and they give him an earful. And I want anybody to know that things that I say is not from the words of WO. It doesn't reflect Richie King and his beliefs. I hear his beliefs and he hears my beliefs. I got major love for him, Commander, those who participate on WO. Some people, don't like what I'm saying. That's their opinion. That's my opinion. That's what makes this a conversation. You don't tell me something, I'm supposed to just go with it. I listened to you about your Santa Claus. I didn't go with that. I listened to you where, Mother's Day is major. No, Mother's Day is every day. I don't listen to you trying to think that you can teach my kids about sexuality. No, because too many of y'all perverted. Stick with economics. Teach us how we can do stocks and bank regulations. I need you to teach them that. Don't teach about if you're a boy but you may be a girl. We don't need you to teach them that, because you got perverted mishaps. You feel me? I don't need you to teach them that. For real. I don't believe in teaching my kids to be servants and stuff. I teach them to be leaders, teach them to be business minded, have a company for real. I don't teach them to be servants, ma'am and sirs. I don't teach them to wonder if they're about their sexuality. Leave that for the home. I got that part and stuff for real. Too many times the government want to be right in your family. I've seen where they call for help for their kids. You can't get nobody on the phone or nothing. But as soon as something or don't look right with you, I've seen them go into people's home and take their kids because of inadequate living conditions. Why are you taking the kids? Once again, he's always quick to take the kids. You ever notice that? It'd be people posing as government agencies. Or they probably are government agencies, but the government don't know. I don't know. You always want to take kids or else remove the kids and all that. Well, you don't need to be with your parents until you're 18. For real, this goes on. Now they down there in this border and then took all these people's kids. You'll be down there fighting for them, your kids too. Where are my kids? For real. It should have never been separated in the first place. So I guess this lady with her 2 kids trying to come to America and stuff was trying to bring in fentanyl. Stop. See, that's all right though. Because these are people who do these things are not in the light. They are deeply in the dark. Trust me, they're deeply in the dark. For real. I was sitting up here, remember Sally Struthers was over there in the African nations and stuff. Every season she is getting fatter and the kids is getting skinnier. What you doing with the food, man? What you doing with the food? These hypocrites. Don't let me talk about Peter. You wanna say, oh, dog fighting, you put Michael Vick in prison, dog fighting and all that and stuff. But you don't say nothing to the people who make fur coats and leather coats and stuff. I was invited to a Peter function, right? And they said, oh, they're gonna be serving dinner. I said, oh, for real? And the dinner was prime rib and hypocrites, man. Hey, man, I'm gonna let my light shine. You let your light shine. Big Hank was here to say, hey, whatever a man reaps, that's what he's going. Whatever man sows, that's what he's going to reap. Always know that God is paying attention and watching every minute. Y'all keep prayers for Big Hank too. Also, and for Cynthia. But like I tell you, God is closer to you than your own mouth. You don't have to go to somebody to say, hey, Starter said, look up, and they had the children doing domestic work, that part. You don't have to go far or nothing. You can be right where you are, no matter what you've done. As long as you ain't blasphemed against the Holy Spirit, which is saying it don't exist, you have a chance. He'll forgive you for everything done in the past. Only you holding that guilt. No matter what you've done to somebody, let it go. Say, ask for forgiveness and let it go. For real. It's just that easy. Hey, I'm Roy Anthony. Thank you for watching the show. See you Thursday. God bless everyone.
Welcome to the Roy Anthony and every Tuesday and every Thursday. Y'all tap in. Is this thing on?